changing the subject of a formula or rearranging a formula, that's the big one, really. We've looked at constructing the formula, we've looked at substituting the formula, and then let's look at this situation where, for example, if I gave you the formula for finding degrees Fahrenheit, and it's presented here as F is equal to 1.8 C plus 32. And reading through that, F is for Fahrenheit, C is for Celsius, two different ways of measuring temperature. F is 1.8 times the degrees Celsius plus 32. What if I gave you the degrees Fahrenheit and I wanted to find degrees Celsius? How do I make C the subject of the formula? Really, really, really useful technique to have to be able to make that rearrangement. Let's explore how we do that for this formula and for others, and then you'll have a chance to practice some. So we have F is equal to 1.8 C plus 32. We want to rearrange that to make C the subject. Making C the subject, what I mean is that at the end of this process, we will have C is equal to. Now, it's really important to understand and appreciate that I said C is equal to, but C can either be on the left-hand side of the equal sign, or the right-hand side. It does not matter. That's really important. And generally, or not generally, but in many cases, in this particular case, what you'll find is we'll end up with C all by itself. That's what we mean by making it the subject. The C is all by itself on one side. No numbers, no letters, no, it's just C on one side, just as F is all by itself on one side. That's what we want to achieve. And if it's on the right-hand side, job is done. But if you want to make it prettier, stick to convention of having the subject on the left, then we can just swap everything over at the end. It's fine. But let's go through the process. And the process is change side. This has worked for me throughout. It's not what you might see in many textbooks, but this idea, keep this one big idea in your head, and it will make a huge difference, I say. Change side, change sign. Or if you don't want to use the word sign, it fits better, but change operation. And you'll see what I mean. I want C all by itself. So I have F is equal to 1.8 C plus 32. I want C all by itself. And by the way, if you think you know what to do, then do it. Get on and move through the video at the pace that's right for you. That's important as well. I want C all by itself. And that means the plus 32 needs to go. It's the first thing that needs to go. And it's on the right-hand side. So the equal sign is in the middle, and we have what's the F is to the left, 1.8 C plus 32 is to the right. And if I want C all by itself, it's going to end up by itself on the right-hand side, then plus 32 has to go on to the left-hand side. And the rule is if you change the side, you have to change the sign. So plus 32 on the right has to become minus 32 on the left. So I can now write as my first line that F take away 32, F minus 32 is equal to 1.8 C. What have I done? I've moved the plus 32 from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. Now for the second phase. Remember, we want C all by itself. We don't want 1C, 2C, or in this case, 1.8 multiplied by C. And it's really important to remember that's the operation here. 1.8 is being multiplied by C, or C is being multiplied by 1.8. Order doesn't matter. And the rule, we apply the rule again. If you change the side, and 1.8 cannot stay on the right, it has to go on the left-hand side. So I have to change the sign. And at the moment, what do I have on the right-hand side? I have C is being multiplied by 1.8. So if it's multiplied by 1.8 on the right, when it goes to the left, it has to become divide. I need to use the inverse operation. We'll all change the side, change the sign. The spirit of it is when you move over, you do the opposite operation. So what's plus becomes minus. What's minus becomes plus. What's multiplication becomes division. The entire right-hand side, so all of F take away 32 has to be divided, and we'll use a fraction line to represent division, by 1.8. And that will give me C. What happened? C is being multiplied on the right-hand side by 1.8. We want C by itself. We don't want 1.8C. We just want C. So the opposite of multiplication, we move the 1.8 to the right-hand side and it becomes divide. So the entire left-hand side has to be divided by 1.8. And as I told you, see what happened here where C is on the right-hand side. If you want, and it is, I suppose, it's good practice, I suppose, we can swap over the sides at the end and say C is F, take away 32, divided by 1.8. We do not have, at that last stage, we don't have to change any sides or signs. The reason we don't have to change anything is because we're just doing a like-for-like swap. Okay, I'll leave it at that for simplicity, okay? There you go. You have a formula. C is your subject of your formula. Let's look at a couple others using this idea. Change the side, change the sign. We're asked to make X the subject of the formula for these two. And please, I encourage you, have a go. Pause me, have a go. I will begin. I'll go slowly. Let's if you want, let's do it together. I want X to be the subject. That means X is going to be all by itself. It's going to be all by itself on the right-hand side. At the moment, 8 is being added. So that add 8 has to go. We don't want to add 8. So it has to go from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. And when it goes on to the left-hand side, it's going to become -8. Change the side, change the sign. So I have y minus, let's get up a -x, -8. And I'm done. This was a one-step process. Now, again, if you want, you can swap this over to say x is equal to y take away 8. It will not change your score in an exam. The both statements are exactly the same. We're just, for appearance purposes, we what we normally see is the what am I do? Wow, the subject on the left, and that's what we're doing. For B, I want X to be the subject. Right now, what do I have? X is being multiplied by 2, and then we're taking away 4. 2x is 2 multiplied by x, or change the order, x being multiplied by 2. That's how I'm getting y. I'm multiplying x by 2, then taking away 4. I got to go backwards. The first thing I want to move is the -4. -4 on the right-hand side has to go on the left-hand side. Change the side, change the sign. So I have y plus 4 is equal to x multiplied by 2. I wanted x. I don't want x being multiplied by 2. I want x. So that means I need to move the multiplication by 2 from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. And if I change the side, I change the sign. So x is y plus 4 divided by 2. Opposite of multiplying by 2 is divided by 2. So y plus 4 divided by 2. The two-stage process here. We change the subtraction to addition on the right-hand side. We change the multiplication to division as it moved on to the left-hand side. Change the -4 on the right became +4 on the left. Multiply by 2 on the right became divide by 2 on the left. Should I do another one? Let's do a couple more. Let's look, and we'll get to the stage. I want you to do this one. Let's try these, but I want you to do this one. I want you to do A. It's all letters. The numbers are gone, but the principles, wow, are the same. Let me get it back there. Ooh, that wasn't supposed to happen. The principles are the same. Change the side, change the sign. We want T all by itself. Go on, do A. I'm going to do B because the brackets make it interesting, but actually I'll tell you, all you need to do is expand the bracket. That's the additional layer in B. But go on, do A. Come on, you can make this happen. You can do it. Go for it. Okay, you paused. You used the power of the pause, and you've done it. Now it is for me to go through. And I'll talk through, and it's the same logic. Change the side, change the sign. I want T all by itself. I have AT, I have U plus AT. The first thing that needs to go is the U. The bit that's not attached to the T shell, so U has to go. This is a positive U. There's no sign by a letter, it's a positive value. change the side, change the sign. So u is going to move over to the left, so I have v take away u. At does not move at this stage. At remains At. So v positive u on the right became take away u, negative u on the left. Change the side, change the sign. Now, what does this mean at the moment on that right-hand side? T, I want T to be the subject. What's happening to T? T is being multiplied by A. No, no, no. I don't want it being multiplied by anything. I want it all by itself. Being multiplied by A on the right, what's the opposite of multiplying? Exactly, division. So my next line and my final line, T is going to be all by itself. A needs to move over to the left. It is a multiplication by A. So on the left, everything that's currently on the left, so the V take away U, all of it has to be divided by A. And that is the formula to find T, to find time. That's what T stands for in this particular context. As I said before, can we leave it like this? Yes, our job is done. If we want to make that change, we can swap over and we can say that T, as the subject is on the left, take away V minus U divided by A. That's what T is equal to. For B, the only additional step that's required, and this was example 2, wasn't it? The only additional step required here is we need to expand the bracket. And after we expand the bracket, we can work through to T. And I said have. I got to be careful. The truth is we don't have to. But I think for most people it's easier to think of it that way. It's my style. Let me rephrase it. Because I haven't done a survey, I don't know what more, but that's my style. I would expand the bracket first and then work my way through. But I can confirm you can do it a different way. P is going to be equal to KB, multiply the bracket, and then K has to be multiplied by the plus T. So KB plus KT. We want T to be the subject of the formula. So that means the first thing that needs to go is the KB, the term that's not, or the letters that are not with the T. You get rid of those first. So KB goes first. It is positive? Yes, it is positive. There's no sign there, so that's positive KB. And yes, we don't have to, it's not just moving one letter. It could be an entire string of letters. KB positive on the left-hand side becomes negative. So I end up with P minus KB is equal to KT. The positive KB on the right became negative KB on the left. Change the side, change the sign. And now it's game over. So we expanded the bracket. That's the only additional step here, expanding the bracket. And to finish things off now, we're multiplying by K. What's happening on the right? Let's just make it really explicit. We have T being multiplied by K. That's what KT means. K multiplied by T, or T being multiplied by K. Order doesn't matter for multiplication. And the opposite of multiplying by K is dividing. So when that multiply by K goes on to the left-hand side, it has to become a divide by K. And everything on the left has to be divided by K. So T remains. It's now the subject. On the left-hand side, I have P multiplied. It's P take away KB all over divided by K. And we're done. T's the subject. If you want, and it is considered a nice thing to do, make T the T is already the subject, but we can put T on the left-hand side and put the rest, put the expression with P, K, and B, P minus KB on K, put it on the right. Not necessary, not a necessary step, but a welcomed step, I would say. And on the basis of this, I would like you to practice a set of these. Not that one, because that's another one for you to do. That's a further stage. We won't do that one now. If you'll be so kind to do this exercise. Off you go. And you paused, you did the exercise, you have a couple moments. I'm going to get all the answers and I'm going to put up the answers for you. Okay, so I'm going to put up all the answers for you. You should have paused already. And let's go. I'm going to slide down on the page. These are all the solutions, and the solutions ended up at the top. Yeah, these are the solutions that you should have. So please mark your work. This is the topic. If you want more practice on this, just get involved in it. Start up a discussion, start up a conversation. We can look at and we can explore how we can do more on this as required. But hopefully I've gone through, and that big idea, change the side, change the sign, and the way I've described it has been a moment where you think, okay, yeah, I can do this, okay? And we'll stop there. We'll stop there for changing the subject 1. We're going to go deeper. It does get more complex, but this is a good starting point. Let's pause here for now on this task.